Our NFL reporter Dave Naylor was at this one. Dave, the big storyline coming into the game was whether the Bills could find a way to slow down the Lions' run game. Jahmyr Gibbs and Dave Montgomery combined for just 35 yards on the ground on 13 carries. How do you explain it?
Well, Jay, that is a question I put to Bills head coach Sean McDermott after the game, and he gave me a one-word answer. He said, attitude. And then he pounded his chest. And certainly that was a big part of the Bills' philosophy coming into this game. But there's also a scheme aspect to it as well. The Bills on a week-to-week basis are not a team that prioritizes trying to take the run away from its opponents. They're more likely to give up something in the run and try to take away those explosive plays through the passing game. But certainly being familiar with the way the Detroit Lions like to come out early in games, establish the run game with David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs, and then run their play-action passing game off of that. There were certainly some adjustments made by the Bills in this one, and they prioritized trying to take that run game away, playing more players closer to the box and swarming to the football. And it was almost surreal here at Ford Field, where we're so used to seeing the Lions open the game and just march down the field where they score or not. They demonstrate that efficiency running the ball, and they didn't have any of that. It was 2 consecutive punts, just 1 first down, and that was really where the tone was set in this game. And the Bills figured that if they could limit that early on, given how well their offense is playing right now, they might be able to take the game script away from Detroit, and that really is what happened by the third quarter. The Lions were forced to abandon what they do better than anybody in the National Football League, and that was really one of the things the Bills were trying to do against them as a philosophy of how to beat this Detroit team. The other thing that getting those multiple score leads did for Buffalo is it opened the door for Dan Campbell to do something he's done often, and that is get overly aggressive with a decision and have it blow up in his face. And that certainly happened in this game. 12 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Detroit's down just 10. And they attempt an onside kick, a very, very low percentage play, and it turns into a quick touchdown for the Buffalo Bills. No way he tries that if they're not down multiple scores, and Josh Allen isn't having his way every time he gets on the field, up and down the field against that Detroit defense. So it was complimentary football at its best. It started really with the opening 2 defensive series of the game for Buffalo, and you can make the argument that's where they won this game.
And, we mentioned it seemed like a possible Super Bowl preview, and after watching these 2 teams actually battle it out, does it seem like a Super Bowl preview to you, Dave?
Oh, I think it certainly seems more. I mean, just from the Bills' perspective, this is the 8th consecutive game they've scored at least 30 points. The second week in a row, they've scored more than 40. Over the past month now, they've beat both the number 1 seed in the NFC, the Detroit Lions, and back on November the 17th, they beat the number 1 seed in the AFC, the Kansas City Chiefs. And, of course, by winning today, they managed to keep pace with the Chiefs, just 1 game back as they hope to get that first overall seed in the AFC and get that playoff bye, which Detroit may get on the NFC side as well. So certainly both teams well positioned for the playoffs. The other thing is that, although this was kind of a wild game, it was also a very well played game. I mean, there was just 1 turnover, and you saw that even when the Lions had to go one-dimensional, what Jared Goff can do throwing the football, you can certainly make the argument that he has stronger weapons around him than Josh Allen does with the Bills. But when it comes to Josh Allen, I think it's becoming more and more clear that the best player in the NFL plays for the Buffalo Bills. Sean McDermott, who knows Josh Allen better than anyone, said this is the best he's ever seen him play. And when I talked to linebacker Terrell Bernard, I said, what's it like watching Josh make those plays, particularly outside of script, where he innovates and buys time and throws the ball across the field, finds a receiver who's, they drill this. They practice those kinds of plays. And you saw it play out today. He just said, I'm just glad he's on my team. Now, Josh Allen did go for an X-ray post-game to his shoulder, an injury suffered late in the game. He said there was no pain. It was purely precautionary, just to give him and the Buffalo Bills and their fans, no doubt, some peace of mind.
Well, despite the loss, Detroit still leads the league with a plus 177 point differential. Bills are second at plus 135, so maybe this is a Super Bowl preview. Dave, thanks for this.